Hey guys, welcome back to part two of our government and the issues edition of the podcast. Gage and I are having kind of like a debate, and right now we're on abortion, and he is more pro life, and I take
Life.
and I take in more of a pro choice stance, and he asked me about where I stand on where should we cut it off, and I said it's still up to the woman. So I'll address his question. What was your question again? Do you recall?
Yeah, I would say, where do you cut it off?
Yeah.
If you have
Between
abortion
yeah.
legal across the board, what's the difference between?
Okay. So for me, like I said, man, I'm not at liberty to say what people are thinking. I think people face their own demons, and if they're okay with that, then that's on them. It's their body, their choice. I agree full heartedly. Like I said, I agree with you that we shouldn't have it on the trimester because that's bad, the third trimester. Because I don't see a difference in that. And then if you have the baby and then killing anyway, I think it's the same. I agree with you personally, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not for again. I'm a full believer on my policies and stuff. Like I said, like if it's your life, yours, whatever you can rationalize, we'll give you the tools, but just don't infringe on other people's rights. So I would say people start to have rights probably outside of the womb is probably what, if you took a poll on people, I would say, I don't know. That's hard to say, would it be 50-50 or not, whatever. I would leave it to a vote and see how people view abortion. If the majority say they overall support abortion, then leave it up to, like, again, local legislators or whatever to address that, because I think again, the area you live would know best on those stances. So I just say leave it up to the people. I don't know the circumstances. I don't know how people rationalize things, but personally, I agree. And I would push probably more for pro-life approach, like you were saying. But it's not, that's not for me to say. I like to see how the people thought overall, and then probably decide with them, really. So that's kind of how I would handle that.
Well, in the laws that I don't know, the laws that we have now kind of contradict each other as well, because if you kill a pregnant woman, you're charged with double homicide.
See, my thing is we have to be consistent, and then on the flip side, I think other thing. Now I will go as far as this. This is the next social thing was Planned Parenthood. I do not think the government should be involved in that at all. I think if you're, you should pay for your own things like that. So I definitely think, okay, cool, we can say abortion's legal or illegal, fine, but either way, we should not have Planned Parenthood funded by the government at all.
I agree with that as well.
Because again, I'm going to be consistent. I was not involved with your life decisions, so I'm not going to be involved with your abortion. So I'm not going to be involved with paying for it, because I was not asked. It was not. I have no say in that. So that's all up to you.
Yeah, well, I agree with that as well. I should not be funding your abortion, just like I also don't believe, like,
you should even have it, right?
For example, Trump and the transgender ban in the military. I agree that I should not be funding for their surgery based off of what they want to do.
Exactly. Which now we can go.
Tax dollars should not be going to other people's decisions.
Exactly. I agree.
Personal.
Yep, I agree. So let's go into that. Gender identity. Should gender identity be added to anti-discrimination laws? And then also, we can reference that to the military.
No, I don't think they should be added to anti-discrimination laws, because you look at the way, you look at Canada, for instance. They have actually included that in California is also trying to pass that law as well. If you purposefully use someone's gender pronoun incorrectly, you can go to jail for that. And I'm like, that's stupid, honestly, in my opinion, because a lot of people, honestly, they flip flop every single day on those
Yeah.
things, and you don't know what they're going to be that day. It's like,
so
honestly, if you can walk up to somebody and be like, "Hey, man," and then like they'll be like, "I'm so offended. I'm a woman. I identify as a woman," and then like, should you be going to jail for that?
Right. But okay, so here's my whole viewpoint. I'm a firm believer that there are only two genders, male and female, scientifically proven. I would say 100% of geneticists would agree with that, and we were taught that in school. Anything in between is mutation or choice, and I think that universally we need to recognize some things. If we're going to have these laws, as in ZERS or having people call that, we need to identify how many genders there are, and then we can universally coincide. But like you said, it changes every day, and we don't know. So that's the dangers of it. So traditionally speaking, I would have to I take more of a conservative approach, and I'm not going to compromise fact with feeling. I'm sorry to say, but rights. You don't have a right to have to your feelings not being hurt. I'm sorry, but that's not a right in this country. You don't get that right. So I think, hey, if you want me to call you, if your name is Michael, you look like a man, and you say I want to go by her, I'll call you that. However, I'm not going to jeopardize people's freedoms, and certainly just for uncertainty of your comfort, because you don't get that right here. So people, I think that's that's a dangerous game playing. Again, I'm not saying I'm anti-transgender. Definitely do what makes you happy. That's fine. Again, do what I'm fine with that. But we universally need to know that there's only male and female, and that's it. I'm sorry to say, people, but anything, like I said, naturally other than that, and we can look at that, and there's a very low percentage of people that actually are born with like both, which is a mutation. And other than that, it's all choice. Even if you're a man and if you transfer into a woman, you're still a man. I'm sorry to say, genetically speaking, it doesn't change that. So we need to realize those things, and then universally come to terms that if it's not man and woman, what is it? We need to realize that there's 4 genders, but science hasn't backed that up, and I'm on the side of science on that. And I'm saying again, it's cool. Do what you got to do. Do what makes you happy, but don't criticize people that don't understand or don't know right off the bat. We can be accepting about it, but don't criticize people for knowing what's normally accepted.
Well, and my whole point of view is to, yes, do what makes you happy, as long as it doesn't infringe on other people. Exactly. Like gay marriage and stuff like that, I have no problem with. They can do whatever they want to do because it's not affecting anyone else. But with like the transgender movement and stuff like that, whenever a man wants to use the woman's restroom, it does start to affect our everyday life in society, especially, and there's people that are afraid of that, and rightfully so. They don't, want a pedophile or something using an excuse to come into the women's restroom and, rape their daughter or whatever. I get that, it makes sense to me. And, it's totally like affecting, the way of life and, the everyday culture that we have. So you are infringing on other people's rights. And 2, I would like to bring up as well that as far as like the non-binary, they have 54 different genders or, whatever the number is. You look at what it would do to things like police departments and fire departments and stuff like that. If say the police department's looking for a suspect with somebody that has non-binary on their, driver's license or something like that, how are they going to know even who to look for? Yeah. Unless they have a sketch or something. How are they going to know who to look for? If they say it's a male, then, that limits.
Well, and then that opens up lawsuits later. If they find someone and they thought was a male, come to find out they go by her, he could sue the police department, in theory.
Yeah. exactly. But if you're putting, non-binary on, like, I think, what is it, Washington, that has the gender X or whatever
Maybe, I
that you
think
can pick for your
California.
driver's license now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that just leads to too many complications.
Right. Yeah.
Especially down the road with, law enforcement, or like if, somebody committed a crime or something like that. Or,
I would say, maybe more. I was thinking more from like a societal standpoint, as far as like off the street. I don't want to go to jail for saying that I thought you were a dude or something. But I mean, if you want to put gender X on your thing, go for it. I don't care about that even. Whatever. But I think you do have some problems there, like you were saying with the police and stuff. But I think, and this is where it gets dicey for me, because I think like things like the police and the military and stuff, they should definitely recognize. I think they should recognize that. And then I don't know. So that's a touchy thing. Again, I'll probably leave that up to states. But I don't know. So I mean, like I said, I'm all for, you can be the XYZ, sure, bud, but don't infringe on my rights because of what you want to be called, because I didn't know, and because science doesn't, back you up on this. I'm sorry to say, but if I think if you look like a dude, I'm going to say you're a dude until I know.
The thing is, too, they're trying to say that, like, if they're not let into the military, that it's discriminatory and sexist and stuff. But
my thing is,
if you look at the military standards, though, they are, selective on who they take. You can't be on any anxiety or depression pills.
Well, that's fine. Yeah,
you can't have ever broken a bone.
My thing is, the military. I hate to say this, people, but they would probably side with me. They know facts. You're either a man or a female. The military recognizes that. If you don't like it, don't join the military. If you do want to join the military that bad, just say you're a man or a woman. They'll let you in. I don't get this whole whatever, and then this whole other thing that the military should certainly pay for that, or the government. No way. I'm sorry to say. Again, that's a personal thing. So you mentioned this too, gay marriage and LGBT rights. Do you think gay marriage should be legal? And also, do you think they should get rights, like say, should gay couples have adoption rights as straight couples have, things like that, etc. So we'll go gloss over that. That should be an easy one. If you side with anything but yes, Gage, I think we would end this podcast because you lost your vote. Like anybody.
Are you threatening me?
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I agree that gay marriage should be legal. I don't agree with gay marriage personally,
right?
But it is your choice, and it's not affecting my life, so you can do whatever you want to.
Exactly.
As far as the adoption issue goes, as long as they pass every other test that a straight couple has to pass or whatever, then yeah.
I agree with that. Easy as pie. There we go. I agree with all that. That's fine. Your choice. As long as you're fit, you can do it. Sure. I see no problems.
So
what?
Here's this question then. So what about the example of the Christian cake baker that doesn't want.
That's what I was going to say. Hold on. Next topic: Religious Freedom Act. Should a business be able to deny a service to a customer if requested conflicts with their beliefs? And that's what you're about to say. So go ahead and finish your sentence. This is the next topic. Yep.
So yeah,
you're really feeding into these pretty well, because you're.
So what's your opinion on that?
I think if it's the business's right to not, serve you, I think they're losing out. I think personally, economically, it doesn't make sense to me. But again, hey, take your business somewhere else. I don't think we should force anybody to do anything for anybody else. No matter, a business is just like anything else. Whatever they believe, go. We shouldn't infringe on that. And I'm sorry, but there's other bakers. And I think if somebody denied you a service because of your beliefs, again, I would be off put by just even doing it still, because that just speaks a lot, I think, about someone's character. So, more power to the business and as well to the consumer. Hey, go find someone more, Just get your money elsewhere, because they're more welcoming. So I look at it
Yeah.
as a lost opportunity for the business, but it's their right. I don't think they should be forced to do anything.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of capitalism.
Exactly.
Everybody has choices.
I don't even know why that. I don't even know why it's a thing. Really, it's like, again, it goes back to like if you're a transgender person and you're trying to go to the military, you want to go to the military that bad, just lie about your gender. If you're a gay person and someone won't make you a cake for your wedding, just find a new cake baker. It's like,
Yeah.
why
Yeah,
are
I
you,
mean,
why are
people
you
act
upset
like,
for
well,
how
it comes back to the feelings thing again. That
exactly?
everybody,
Like I said, and what did I
everybody
say?
thinks their
You don't.
feelings should trump everything.
We don't have a right to feelings, and that's not a luxury we have in this country. We have rights to protect us about certain things amongst the land, and your feelings aren't one of them. Unfortunately, to say, because the real world, they don't care about your feelings. So that's the whole thing. Like, and we shouldn't try and make each other feel bad, but you certainly can't. You can't overfeel
also
and
change all the time.
exactly in policy. So that's the dangers of it, and that's you can see. If anything, I would say for the most part, I'm intellectually consistent on my arguments as far as like, all right, what did the facts say? I think the policies should be ran by the facts, and then the feelings are a later thing. And for the most part, I'd say do what you feel because whatever, as long as you're not infringing on people. That's my only thing. You do what you want, and try and makes you happy. But certainly, if it infringes on fact and people's rights, I'm not an advocate for that, at all.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I look at it purely from an economic standpoint.
Right.
If that cake baker doesn't want to bake you a cake, then he's losing out on your business basically, and and let the business fail if it fails, or whatever. Go to a different cake baker and give them your money.
Exactly. So on to the next topic. This one should be easy, gloss over again. Should government provide mandates, certain mandates, as in like should health insurance providers be required to give people free birth control and things like that? I think it's, for me, kind of similar to the abortion thing. I don't think anybody should be inclined to pay for anything for you. Now, what I would say is like I think it'd be a nice little bonus if a health provider added some initiative like that in. I think it would sway people to choose this person or that person. But I don't think there should be any legal obligation to have that fulfilled by every healthcare provider.
Yeah, no, I agree
think it should be
that,
like an initiative. Okay.
You should not be forcing. Yeah, the government should not be forcing anybody to give out birth control or whatever. Because number one, I don't. I shouldn't be paying for that with my tax dollars.
Yeah.
if you want to choose to have sex and
just buy condoms,
use birth control or whatever, then that's your choice.
Box of condoms, $12.50, for a box or something. Not that bad.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And if people have to pay for their insulin, people have to pay for other medications that they need daily. Why should you get that for free?
Exactly.
Should all medications be free then?
I agree. No, they shouldn't. But we can get to healthcare soon. Death penalty. Do you support the death penalty?
Yes, I do support the death penalty.
Ah, man, I do too. No, but I would leave it up to the states fully. Me, actually, I don't think unless you're like a murderer, I think we should do things to people to fit the crime or otherwise for and we can go death penalty and we'll say our prison system. All right, so I'll address that. I think it should fit the crime, but it should be up to lawmakers or whatever. I think it should be an option. However, personally speaking, I don't think anybody has the right to take anybody's life. I think that's something beyond our control. Now, if you're a murderer, maybe that's justifiable. Again, personally, an eye for eye is something I don't believe in. So I don't think we should enforce it, but that's just my opinion. Again, we'll leave that up to the people. Now, what I would definitely go on to say is I would think it would be best to change our prison system. I think that I don't think we should be making money off of people being in prison. I think instead maybe that's something the government should take control of as well. But what we should do is make initiative like actually rehabilitate people. We should like put like mechanic school, basic, blue collar things into the prisons to teach prisoners a thing. I think we should get rid of things on applications. If are you a felon? I think we should give people a second chance, because especially if they did their time and they're out. I think that will too really bring down our incarceration rate in this country. Also, legalize the drugs would help that too, and I think it would give people more fair opportunities. Now, yeah, so that's kind of my thing. I think we should focus on rehabilitation instead of punishing more, and then everything else should be up to the states. But that core foundation that we should really focus in on enhancing people's skills so they can be productive members in our society again is what we should focus on instead of punishing people, because I don't think that's working. And now we're about actually out for that second part, Gage. So when we come back, I'll let you rebuttal. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you on part 3, guys. Thank you.